Hello friends, in the current video tutorial, I'll be talking about a programming task which uses property node. The programming task at hand is as follows. There should be 10 Boolean indicators on the front panel. One by one, at the interval of 1 second, they should light up starting from the first. Once all the Booleans are on, then one by one at the interval of 1 second, they should go dark starting from the first. Then one by one at the interval of 1 second they should become invisible. Once all the booleans are invisible, then one by one at the interval of 1 second they should appear on the front panel and lighten up starting from the first. So all these things in a serial order has to be done. So we would be using property node in this. Let's see how. Before going directly onto the programming task, there should be some background programming which I will be demonstrating. So I have made these booleans. They should light up first. Firstly, I'll be teaching how to make the booleans light up. So one by one they will be lighting up. So you would be thinking that I would be using a sequential structure just like this, and I would be adding frames, and I would be using a delay of 1 second just like this. I would be adding a boolean. Suppose this boolean is there. Suppose this boolean is there, and I would be putting this boolean, making it true, and then creating a time delay. (1000 milliseconds means 1 delay). Then add frame after creating a boolean, another boolean, creating another boolean, again making that true, so that it would light up. So this way you would be thinking that I will be programming like this, but this is not the only way to program. I would be using something else. So let's see another way of doing the same thing, and this is a much easier way to do the things. So let's see the program first. So boolean 1 is on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you see all these booleans are getting on one by one. So what I have done in the programming, let's see the programming now. I have taken 10 booleans and I have created property node for each boolean, not the property node. I have created a reference for each boolean. So how to create a reference for each boolean? So you can create a reference in this way for each boolean. This is reference number 1. Create reference. This is reference number 2, and so on. So I have created references for all these booleans, and I have combined all the references and stacked them using build array function. So this is a build array function. So I've in a more precise way, I should say that I have concatenated all the references using a build array function, and this is an array over here. This is an array of references. If we place an indicator over here, So this indicator is a reference indicator for all the booleans, right? So this gives a reference for all these indicators. So after giving the references, I've created a for loop, and this is an auto indexed loop. Sorry, I have created a for loop and I have put the array inside the for loop using a tunnel, and this is an auto index tunnel, and I have wired this to a property node. So this time I have picked the property node from here. I picked the property node and I have just wired it to this. So this is an auto indexed tunnel. So one by one the references will be passed to the property node. As I wire it, it changes its things to like this. So I have one by one the references will be passed to the property node, and then one by one the values would be set to true. So I've used the value property from the property node. I can select many properties, so I've selected the value property, and so this would become since true is wired to the value property, and one by one the references of the various booleans are passed. So whichever boolean reference is passed, so one by one true value will make the boolean to light up. So let's see once again. So let's see in slow motion first. Let's see how this is being done. So first value 1, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8th, 9th, and 10th. All the references are passed. 10 references are there. First reference value 2, first on. Second reference value 2, second on. Third reference value 2, third on. Fourth reference value passed and 2, fourth on. Fifth value of reference passed and 2, fifth on. So likewise this. So instead of making stacked sequence or flat sequence, I have used this auto index tunnel to make the values true of various booleans. So now we'll see how I have made the booleans invisible. So just like the previous case, instead of using value change, I have used the property visible. So when I run the button, the booleans disappear. Again the same thing happens. If you see in slow motion, execution highlighting, so one by one the values of booleans, they are not values, the references to the various booleans are passed, and those references are made into a array, and likewise all the references passed one by one to the boolean visible property, and visible property is set to false, and so booleans disappear. So now we are ready for the final program. Let's see once again. So we have seen how the booleans light up, and we have seen how the booleans can be made to go invisible. So now let's see the final program. So before going on to the program, I just want to run the program and see. Booleans lighting up one by one, then booleans going off one by one, then booleans disappearing one by one, and then appearing and lighting up simultaneously one by one. So how I have programmed this, I've just taken the references of the various booleans, stacked them into a build array function, and this build array function I've wired them wired to the input. I've used a sequential structure, and I've used firstly for loop for auto indexed for loop for making the values of various booleans true. That means booleans should light up at an interval of 1000 milliseconds, and then I have wired to the false value for the property node of booleans, so that the booleans go off again at the interval of 1000 milliseconds, which is 1 second. Then I have made the booleans to go visible. Firstly the value change, then I have wired the booleans to go invisible, because I have set visible property of booleans to false, so the booleans will become invisible over here one by one. And then I have selected two properties, visible and value, and I have set them to true, so booleans will become visible as well as they will be in the on state. So this is the way we are going to achieve this programming task in a much easier way than using a sequential structure or flat sequence or stacked sequence. So I hope you have understood this programming task and how to program this. I hope you have liked this video. Thanks for watching this video.